Okay, great. So once again, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for coming to our webinar today. So today's webinar is focusing on relocating to the best school catchment area. So whether you are a parent that's in the UK and you're looking to move to another part of the UK, or if you're an international family that's, relocating across the world, hopefully this webinar will give you more guidance into what catchment areas are. So I'm Ishita, I'm the co-founder at SchoolUniGuide. Alongside with me on this webinar, we also have Preeti. Preeti is the founder and CEO at SchoolUniGuide, as well as Pi Academy. And also we have Akanksha, who is our product manager at SchoolUniGuide. Yes, so perfect, thank you. So we have many things that we can delve into in this webinar today. So off the bat, we will start off by understanding what catchment areas actually are and why do they exist. We will also look at how catchment areas are calculated. So there's many different means and methods that are used to calculate catchment areas, so we'll be looking into those. We will also see the different types of schools that have catchment areas. So if you are an international family, then this can also give you more guidance into the UK schooling system. We'll see how to find catchment areas for these schools. We will also have an interactive poll, which I hope everyone will join in with, and we will bust some of the common myths around catchment areas. We will see how we can make sure that you are in the right catchment area. And last but not least, we will provide you with some expert relocation tips. Great, so what is a catchment area? So a school catchment area, by definition, is the geographic area around a school which determines priority for school admissions. So this geographic area, you can kind of consider it as a boundary. And within this boundary, it's influenced by many things. So it can be the population density of that particular area. It can also be the distance, that is one of the main factors, and it can also be the school capacity. So what is the intake for that school in that particular year? Now, why do catchment areas exist? Well, there's many reasons why catchment areas exist, and some of these are actually great benefits as well. So number one, it ensures local access. So it ensures local children have access to nearby schools. Now, this is really important, especially if you have young children, usually around of ages 8 or 10. So often in the UK, because it's a very safe country, children do walk to schools. And by having catchment areas, we can ensure that where the child lives and where the school they're going to is not a big distance. So they're able to travel and commute on their own in a safe manner. Secondly, it manages capacity. So it manages school capacity and prevents oversubscription. Now, oversubscription can be a big problem, especially when you're looking into moving into metropolitan cities like London, or if you're looking to gain admission into more selective schools like grammar schools. These have a very small cohort size for a particular year, but they have a huge volume of applicants. Thirdly, it promotes fair allocation. So while many people might argue, well, if I live further away, how is that fair for me? Well, it does kind of, combat some other discrepancies like financial discrepancies, or some children may even gain places by social connections, which is not very fair. Fourthly, it reduces travel time. So this goes hand in hand with the first point. By having your child live within the catchment area of the school, it reduces the travel time they spend coming to and fro school. And for you as a parent, it can also significantly reduce the cost associated for that. And lastly, it promotes the efficient use of public services. So how are catchment areas calculated? Now, there's four main methods for calculating the catchment area. Number one is the straight line catchment. So this particular method measures the shortest distance between your child's home, so your home, and the school that they're going to. However, it doesn't really take into consideration some of the practical conditions that a child might face when traveling. On the other hand, the walking distance catchment method definitely does. So this takes the actual walking route that the child will take for that particular school. So this will take into consideration any pedestrian routes or areas where there's really notably high traffic congestion. Thirdly, we have the priority admission area. Kind of as the name suggests, it uses a priority zone. This is particularly used for selective schools such as grammar schools. Now, if you live within the priority zone, you are typically have a higher chance of being admitted into the school, provided that your child performs extremely well within their academic tests. And if you live outside the priority zone, it does diminish your chance. Lastly, we have nearest school catchment method. Now, this method involves finding the closest school with available spaces. Now, this is really important, particularly if you are trying to gain admission into school, but you've left it a bit late, or perhaps you don't have a desired school in mind, you don't have a preference, so it allocates you with the nearest school that has available spaces, so your child is definitely given high quality education too. So, I mentioned a few schools here and there, but what are the types of schools that have catchment areas and what are the ones that don't? Typically, state-funded primary schools, or as we just call them primary schools, do have a catchment area just to ensure that children within a particular borough, for instance, boroughs in London, go to schools that are nearby. Yes, thank you. And secondly, similarly from that, there's also state-funded secondary schools. Now again, similar to primary schools, they also have a catchment area. However, the width and the breadth of the catchment area is a lot broader in order to allow a bit older children to travel. So if you are in the age group of 11 to 18, which is what secondary schools typically allow for, you can travel a bigger distance because it is safe for you to given your age. Thirdly, we have faith schools. As the name suggests, this prioritize members of their particular faith of the school. However, these do not have a catchment area, and instead they rely on you providing evidence of the particular faith you might follow. So that might be church attendance, or it might even be a letter from your religious leader. Fourthly, we have grammar schools. Now, I think this is what a lot of our parents here are really interested in. Grammar schools have varying policies. So some have catchments, however, some don't. However, it's really important to note that if you are looking to gain admission for your child into some of the top grammar schools, then it's really important that you consider the influence of catchment areas. This is because the top grammar schools have, again, a very small cohort size for each year, but they have a huge number of applicants. However, before you even think of catchment areas, you really need to do well in their entrance exam, which is the 11 plus entrance exam. So you can think of it as layers. As my child needs to do really well in the entrance exam, make sure you nail that, and then ensure that you are within the catchment as well. Because if there are students with similar academic capabilities, the student that lives closer or within the priority zone will be given the priority. And lastly, we have private schools, also known as independent schools. These typically do not have catchment areas. Instead, they rely similarly as grammar schools on the 11 plus exam. So make sure you really hone that for your child. And as the name may suggest, you do need to make sure you have the right finances in order to pay quite high fees. However, it's well to note that you might consider location, especially because private schools are scattered all across the UK. If you live further away, you might need to think of some transport routes for your child as well. Okay, so top school areas in the UK. There's many amazing grammar schools all over the UK. So for instance, in London, we have it in Barnet, Richmond and Sutton. I think someone asked a question about Sutton Grammar School in the chat, so we will tackle that soon as well. In the south, we also have Surrey, Hertfordshire and Kent. In the north of the UK, you have grammar schools in Manchester, Cheshire, and Midlands, Warwickshire and Birmingham. Birmingham is home to the King Edward schools, which are some of the top grammar schools as well. So what makes a catchment area tough? And I'm saying that in quotes because hopefully as we go through this webinar, we will provide you some top relocation tips which might make it seem less daunting. So number one, I've said this quite often, there's a high demand. So there's limited school places versus a large pool of applicants. Now, this is the case not just for selective schools, but also for the top metropolitan cities, London or Birmingham. There's a high population and limited school places. Secondly is Ofsted ratings. Now, if you're a parent, I'm sure you want your child to go to outstanding or good Ofsted rating schools, and that's exactly why catchment areas can be tricky to get into because it attracts more and more families if schools have high Ofsted ratings because it shows they have good extracurricular, good pastoral care, and amazing academic facilities too. And lastly, population growth. So there's a rapid increase in population, which definitely does add a strain to local schools and their resources. Okay, so that's enough of me talking at you. I was thinking now maybe we can do some bust the myths around catchment areas. So there's a lot of maybe misinformation or hearsay about catchment areas, and I'm going to open a poll and ask some questions, and if the audience can contribute, that will be great, so we can bust these myths together. Okay, so question one. Okay, so question one is, can you apply to schools outside your catchment? So I'm going to launch this poll and you should hopefully see it on your screen now. So whether you're using a laptop or phone, just tap whether you think, yes, you can apply to schools outside your catchment. No chance, you can't apply to schools, or simply you're not sure, and that's completely fine. So I think, wow, okay, so there is a big difference. A lot of people have said yes, 81% of you have said, yes, you can apply. 10% have said no, and 13% have said not sure. So it's clear the majority are saying yes, you can, and you're absolutely right. You can definitely apply to schools outside your catchment. However, it's really important to note that competition is tough. So if you are looking to gain admission to some of the top selective schools, it's really important that you actually are in the catchment area. And the best chance of success is by really doing well in the 11 plus. So whether you have a personal tutor or you're teaching your child, make sure that you really hone in on that 11 plus preparation, because the catchment area will be the second layer, which is going to make or break your application. So you can definitely apply, but is it the best choice? Probably not. Okay, next question. So the second question is, are school catchment areas fixed and do they rarely change? So that's a question that we get asked pretty often. Oh, I can't seem to launch this poll. That's weird. Okay, I needed to end the other one. Okay, great. So I've launched this poll, and again, take a minute to think. So are school catchment areas fixed and do they rarely change? That's a common question we get asked a lot. A lot of parents come to us, email us, well, what's going to happen with the catchment area next year? So a lot of people have said, yes, they are fixed. And 26, 28, fluctuating, have said, no, they're not fixed. And few of you have said not sure, which again is completely fine. So I can completely understand why a lot of people are thinking that, yes, they are fixed. However, that is actually not the case, and perhaps that's a good surprise for a few. So catchment areas are actually not fixed at all. They definitely do change based on the population density, again, the intake of the school for that year. So based on that, they might broaden or narrow the catchment area. And the top tip I can definitely give for this is always check the school website or the local authority of your borough website, because this will give you the latest and most up-to-date information. So I guess we have busted a myth here. Okay, and lastly, we're going to do one last poll. And yep, if we can go to the next question. Does moving into school's catchment guarantee a place? So I'm going to launch this poll again. Have a little think. Does moving into a school's catchment guarantee a place? Seems like there's a very one-sided view on this. Okay, so let's see if more people want to chime in. Yeah, I think this is one of the questions which has had the most difference in answers. So people have said not always. 97% of you have said not always, and very few of you have said yes, always. So yeah, you're completely right. Moving into a catchment definitely does not guarantee you a place. That's because schools are also very smart. So they do residency checks where you might need to submit documents to prove how long you have lived there, because you know the last thing you want is a very tactical move in order to gain admission. So they do not at all guarantee you a place. Okay, thank you so much everyone for contributing. I think it's always more interesting when there's, you know, people interacting as well. So what can you do to ensure that you're in the right catchment area? Now, number one tip I would always give is research and research. It's extremely important that you research catchment areas. So you can do this by checking school and local authority websites for official maps. And now I can give you a demo on how you can do that. So if you go onto SchoolUniGuide.com, you can simply type in the particular school that you are deciding. For instance, if I'm interested in sending my daughter to Tiffin Girls' School, I will type in Tiffin's Girls' School, which is a great grammar school, by the way. And on SchoolUniGuide.com's website, you have all the information you need about Tiffin, whether it be Ofsted rating, GCSE A-level, admissions, community, and other frequently asked questions as well. But for this webinar, we'll be looking at the catchment area. So if we click onto the catchment area, you will find all the information that you need about Tiffin Grammar School and its catchment areas. So this is the premium plan. So this is it all unlocked. And here you can see what percent of pupils are within that catchment area. So 4.09 miles, 70% of pupils are living within a 4-mile radius. Now, if you think about that's really small. So you can see how maybe competitive that school might be. 10% are between 4.09 to 4.62 miles. So this shows they're very centered. And you can also see the postcodes here. So yes. Another big tip I would always suggest is to make sure that you look at the admissions policy and make sure always this is from the actual school, because on the admission policies, you will gain insight into what are the designated areas. So as we can see here, Tiffin Grammar Schools allows applicants from the KT 1 to 19, Southwest London 13 to 20, as well as some other area postcodes in London too. So you can use the SchoolUniGuide website to see how far it is, and you can use the designated area codes from the official website too. So definitely use them side by side. Great, so you did your research. Secondly, you need to confirm residency requirements. So some schools require minimum period of residency. So as I said previously, schools can definitely recognize tactical moves when a parent or a family has moved straight into the area just to gain admission. So they will do residency checks. Thirdly is contact local estate agents. So get early access to properties in the catchment area. So one way to do this is definitely contact your local estate agents. They can give you some great insight and advice. And always make sure that whether you're renting or buying, you ensure that your property has been accessed by you within a good amount of time. Fourthly, choose a property in the catchment. So this goes without saying, make sure your property is within the catchment. Verify your eligibility before buying or renting. Fifth, act quickly. So be financially and legally prepared to secure a property. So again, timing is crucial. You do not want to leave it to the last minute, so make sure to act quickly. Establish proof of address. So keep your utility bills, rental agreements, or mortgage documents ready. This is really important because in order to ensure that the school knows that you are within the catchment area, they will be asking for the necessary documents. 7 is submit school application on time. Use the correct address and meet all deadlines. Now, this doesn't just go for the catchment documents or the catchment deadlines. However, it means for every stage of the school. So whether that means registering for the school, sitting your child's 11 plus on time, you don't want to miss the actual day, and filling out any relevant forms. You need to make sure that you're meeting all deadlines. And last but not least, stay updated. So monitor catchment changes or school admissions policy. So similar to the research, make sure you check our website, and also make sure you check the official school website, because SchoolUniGuide.com will always make sure to give you the most up-to-date information for any school. Okay, so buying versus renting. It's a question we get asked a lot, but we always leave it up to the parents, because at the end of the day, your home is your home and it's your choice. So with buying, there are many pros. So there's long-term stability and investment. They have lower long-term costs because you are obviously paying upfront, and it's important because you have full control over the property. So this is great if you have big families. If you have any furry friends as well, you do want full control over the property. Nothing more than a landlord telling you, you can't have your lovely cat with you here. So yeah, that's important. Cons is high upfront costs. So obviously you need to make sure you're in the right financial position to bear those costs. It offers less flexibility, and the catchment area zone may change. So again, that shouldn't really be a con, really, because you would have prepared, can't talk today, in advance. Secondly, we have renting. So we have pros as fast and flexible, as lower upfront costs, and it avoids market risks. However, there are cons, which is it is short-term only. So if you are looking for a long-term renting situation, you would need to discuss that. There's less security, and obviously you are living under a landlord, so there might be council checks as well. So I think we covered a lot of these, but just to summarize our top moving and relocation tips. Timing, align your move with the school application deadlines. I think we covered that very well. Secondly is address rule, check council proof of address rules. So this is very key. School research, review Ofsted reports and admission trends. So we've covered a few points of the school research, whether it be seeing SchoolUniGuide.com or the admissions policy, but Ofsted reports are equally important. You might move into a school which has amazing catchment area, but it's also important that the Ofsted report shows that it has great extracurriculars, it has good pastoral care, because you want the holistic development of your child, not just the top grades. Fourth is accessibility. Consider transport and accessibility, particularly if you have a child that may have some sort of disability or a SEND student. It's really important that there's good transport routes and accessibility for that. And lastly, documentation. So prepare all your supporting documents, whether that be for the moving, renting, buying, or whether it be for your own child's admission process. Okay, great. So now I will pass on to Akanksha, who will tell you how to find catchment areas for the schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishita. And a very good afternoon, everyone. I'm Akanksha, and I'm the product manager at SchoolUniGuide. And I would be walking you through how you can find catchment area for schools on SchoolUniGuide. So when you land on the home page, you would see an icon called See on Map. What you need to do is click on it, and it would take you to our catchment area calculator page. So here you can see we have the catchment area checker tool. And here you can select the school that you are looking for. So for example, Ishita had shown us the Tiffin Girls School. I would select it from the drop down, and then I would enter the postcode. So for example, if I'm residing in SW19 3HQ, this is the postcode of my house, I would select it from the drop down, and I would hit calculate distance. So this way I would be able to see the distance of my home from the school. And as Ishita had shown, I would also be able to see where exactly the students lie. So 70% of the students lie within 4 miles. The next 10%, so which is 80% of the students, reside within 4.62 miles, and 90% of the students reside within 5.37 miles. So this is a very handy tool, because as you can see on the filters here, we have filters for estate agents. So when you click on this filter, you would see that the various estate agents around the school have been populated. And you can simply hover on the name of the estate agent to locate where their office lies. So we can see Satori, New Malden, and other estate agents over here. At the same time, you can also check out the best tuitions, because the 11 plus exams are a key and crucial part of the admissions process. So when we click on the tuitions here, we can see the various tuition centers around your home. So we have Revision Locker, we have Tutor Hut, and many others. So you can use this maps page to check out the catchment area, see whether you lie within the catchment area, and check out the best providers around you. And I would like to reiterate that this is a premium feature. So you can head over to our pricing section. When you click on our pricing section, you would see our pricing plans. So we have the annual plan and the monthly plan. The monthly plan is for $9.99 a month. And only for today, we are giving you an extra 50% off. And you can avail the annual plan at half the rate. So this is £49 per year. And in these plans, you would be able to unlock all these features. We have the AI advisor. We have the catchment area maps that you can unlock. You would unlock a lot of additional and very important information, such as crime rate and safety indicators, percentage oversubscription. And you would also be able to compare the various exam prep providers. You would be able to see the GCSE and A-level results for all these schools. So do check out our premium plans. Now, keeping in mind that we are hosting this webinar on catchment area, we created our very own school catchment area and relocation guide. So you can access this guide by hovering on the exam prep section, and you can just scroll down and click on this icon here. And you would be able to see the best school catchment area and relocation guide. So in this guide, we have given a step-by-step guide where you can check your eligibility. We've covered all the key factors to consider while you're choosing the best school for your child. We have detailed out the legal considerations that come into place when you're looking for a house, and the myths versus facts. Now, at the same time, with only 6 months being left for the exams, and with most of us being very keen to get into the best grammar schools, we have created the ultimate admissions guide to grammar schools in the UK. So for today, for all of you who have joined us for the webinar, we are giving you an extra 50% off on all our guides. So you would be able to access our grammar school guide at half the price, which is at around £29. You would be able to access our catchment area guide for around £4.9. And I would suggest that you make good use of the coupon code, which we would be sharing at the end of the webinar. So to quickly show you what you would be able to access in the grammar school guide, I would give you a brief look. So this is what the guide looks like. We talk about a lot of things. We talk about the various exam boards in the UK. And as you can see, we have the table of contents where we have covered the various exam boards, how to prepare, what are the best strategies, how to find the best tutors for your child. And we also have provided a very detailed league table where you can compare the various schools in the UK using the league table. So as you can see, it's a very detailed guide. You can use it to structure your 11 plus examination preparation, and also to find the best school for your child. In the same tone, we have also released our top 100 independent schools guide. So in a similar manner, the way the grammar school guide is covering the key details that you need to keep in mind while finding the best grammar school for your child, the independent school guide basically helps you find the best independent school for your child. So here we have covered actual stories and success stories of people who have been successful in their journey to finding admissions to the top independent schools in the UK. And you can access this guide today for an extra 50% off, and you would be able to unlock this guide for just £34. So with this, I would come back to the webinar. And yes, so while it is important to reside in the right catchment area, that is not it. We still do need to crack our 11 plus examination. And for this, you would have to follow through these following 4 steps. So to maximize your child's chances of school admissions, you would make sure that you have provided your child access to one-to-one tuition for personalized coaching in order to make sure that their weak areas are being addressed. It is also very important to go through the past papers. So do make sure that you have provided them with 11 plus or 7 plus past papers, depending on the examination that they are attempting. You can also go ahead and check out group courses or weekly reading clubs, which can really help enhance their comprehension and creative writing skills. And you can also provide them with some comprehensive resources which are tailored for grammar and independent school examinations. So to give you a glimpse of where you can find this, I would take you to Pi Academy, which is our sister company. And on Pi Academy, you would be able to find all the 11 plus past papers. So if you hover on the 11 plus papers in the mega menu, you can see the 11 plus maths past papers, English past papers, verbal, non-verbal reasoning. You can also unlock some practice papers for the various exam boards which are there. You can also see the SPAC papers, vocabulary, comprehension, creative writing, many more. And all of these papers are the actual papers which were asked in the previous multiple years. And our expert tutors have solved them in a very clear and step-by-step manner. So you can click on any of these papers that you wish to explore, and you would be able to see them in the form of a table here. And all of these subscriptions come with a free planner. So you can follow a free planner to figure out which papers to solve first. So you can start with the easy papers. We have segregated them by difficulty level. So we have easy, medium, and then the hard papers. So similarly, as I was talking about group courses being an extremely important part of our 11 plus exam preparation, I would quickly show you the group courses that we have on Pi Academy. So if you go onto the mega menu, you would be able to see our 11 plus Easter courses. So click on the 11 plus courses, and you would be taken to a page where we have listed down all our group courses which are upcoming. So these group courses are held in groups of around 3 to 4. And the main purpose of these courses is to make sure that you are prepared for all exam boards which are out there. So these courses are tuned in such a manner that they can help you prepare for both grammar and independent school examinations. So for example, if I were to show you what exactly contains our GL Mastery Easter course, you would see, as you can see, it's a course which is suitable for year 5 and year 6 students. It's a 10-day course where we cover the 3 major subjects, which are Maths, English, and VR. And we have also provided a very detailed course schedule. So here you can see the date and the various topics that we would be covering across the various days. And most of these courses, actually all of these courses, come with a final mock examination. So once the child is done with the course, they can take the mock exam and see how well they have fared. So these are our 11 plus papers. I've walked you through our 11 plus courses, and I would also show you our 11 plus tuition. And one of the key, I would say, differentiating factors of our 11 plus tuition is that it comes with a free diagnostic assessment. So in a diagnostic assessment, our tutors would sit down with your child and they would go through a diagnostic test to identify which topics they are struggling with, and then create a bespoke tutoring plan so that they can work on their weak areas. So do check out Pi Academy's 11 plus tuition to book online one-to-one tuitions for your child. So with this, we come to an end of the webinar. I thank you all for joining us. And as I said, we are giving 50% off on SchoolUniGuide's guides. So use the coupon code SUG50 for the 50% off. And for Pi Academy, you can use the coupon code Easter30 and check out our 11 plus papers, 11 plus courses, and use the coupon code Easter30 to unlock an extra 30% off. So with this, I request all of you to join us for the Q&A session, drop your questions, and we would discuss them. Thank you. So you can ask us questions regarding catchment area, you can ask us questions regarding the best resources that can be used, and we would follow suit with them. So Vish has a question. Would you be able to guide on the areas to live to cover Tiffin, Nonsuch, Wallington for girls? So the easiest way to do this would be to head over to SchoolUniGuide and to check out these particular schools. So as we had shown in the demo, if it is Tiffin Girls School that you're looking for, you can select the school from the drop down, head over to the catchment area, and you can see that we have mentioned all the various postcodes and the regions which are covered. And if you're seeking some more information, you can click on read more about Tiffin Girls School, and it would take you to a page where we have also provided details about competition. For example, we can see that in the year 2024, the school was 137% oversubscribed. We are also providing details of cohort sizes. So we have basically provided how many children are there by various year groups, the details of crime rate that happens around the school, which is extremely important when it comes to deciding which school to send our children to, and also the pupil ethnicities. So you can use SchoolUniGuide, search the name of the school on the home page, and you can then start reading all that you need about the school.
Someone also asked via direct message, so maybe that's why we didn't see. Do the Sutton grammar schools have catchment areas? So yes, the Sutton grammar schools also do have catchment areas, and they're particularly within the Sutton area. So if you were to go onto schooluniguide.com, you can search up whichever school you're looking for within Sutton, and you would be able to find out the distance between your home and the school, and also what are the key postal areas within Sutton that you would be able to send your child to within Sutton, this particular Sutton school you're looking for as well. So yes, short answer, yes, they do have catchment areas as well. So someone asked, my daughter is in year 6, my daughter is in year 6 and she's applied for secondary school. However, we want to relocate to a different country. What are the chances to get a good school and how to proceed? Okay, so my daughter's in year 6 have applied for secondary school. However, okay, so I'm assuming this person wants to relocate to another country from the UK. We are not too sure about the different country. I think it would depend on the country you want to relocate, but I would assume it's a very similar process. You would definitely have to research a county. Okay, so they want to relocate to another county. Okay, so Akanksha, do you know for this? If they want to relocate in year 6 from secondary school to a different county in the UK?
All right. So depending on the county that they're looking to relocate to, they would then have to use the postcode for that particular area to check out the schools which are nearby. So for example, if they are looking, for example, if I put NW7 1LU as the postcode where perhaps they're looking to relocate to, it would take you to that particular postcode, and then you can see all the various schools which are around you. So the ones closest to you would be the ones that you would have higher probability of being within the catchment area of. So here you can see, we can see a lot of ST, which stands for state schools. We can see a lot of INs, which are independent schools. And so you can use the tool to figure out which postcode you're in and check the schools which are around that postcode.
Yes. Okay, someone asked minimum number of years to live in a postcode.
So Ishita, I will take that question. So it all depends upon, as Ishita has already said that earlier, that you need to check the admission policy which is given on the school official website, because they keep changing it year to year. So it's always better to read through in detail about the admission policy and check it. What are the criterias they are putting in place to make sure that how many years you should be staying within that area, because it varies school to school. That's why. Okay, there is one more question coming from Nazia. Is there a discount for online courses? So if you're talking about Pi Academy, then of course, yes, there is a discount, and we already discounted all the courses by 50%. So Akanksha, can you open the Pi Academy website?
Yes.
Yeah, here we go. So it is already discounted. So wherever you can see, there is a 50% off. It's already discounted. There is a question. I think there are many questions coming. Akanksha, can you send the link to this website? I mean, directly to the courses in the chat.
Yes.
I think I missed few questions. Okay, there is a question from Elise. When do you have to be living at the address within the catchment area? Is it on a key date? I don't think so, because as I said, again, it depends upon school to school, because some of the schools, they don't mind if you are relocating even 6 months before. Some of the schools in North London, especially, they are very particular that you should be staying within that catchment at least for a year, and you need to provide the residency proof. So it's always better, and we are repeating, in fact, our entire team is repeating that it's always better to check the admission policy. And Ishita has already walked you through how the admission policy looks like. So for every school, there is an admission policy, and you can also check it on our website, because we also keep updating lot of data. So Zayana, she is asking, what is a mock exam score kids expected to get into QE boys school? Yeah, it's very, very good question. I will open the website of Pi Academy. You see, we do have the mock exam, and on our mock exam, I will open that page also for you. So we have the GL mock exam, which you see it on the website. Urvashi, please give the link of the mock exam in the chat. So in here, you can see the GL mock exam, maths and English, which is for £59. If you take this exam, for example, and if your child's score is about 90 to 92%, it's a good chance that the child can get into QE boys. So even if it is, I don't know what about the other mock exam providers, but our mock exams are typically meant for QE boys or Henrietta Barnett. And that is the reason why we always say that our mock exams are quite difficult. And if your child is scoring around 92%, it should be fine. Okay, there is one more question from Tanish. Can you suggest some good schools for boys where there is no catchment? So basically, QE boys doesn't have a catchment. So you can have a look at that. And maybe we can send you the message. What are the other schools you can also apply to? Or you can email us the same question and we will respond to that email. Elise is asking, does SchoolUniGuide include similar info on universities? As I also have an older child who will be applying to universities next year. Definitely. So as the name suggests, our company name is SchoolUniGuide. So we are covering all the schools, all the universities, and we are having a very, very detailed information for all the universities, as well as the courses which are conducted within the universities. So for example, if we take here any university, and if we click on that university, we can switch between the university and courses on the top right. So if it is Anglia Ruskin University, you can read all about Anglia Ruskin University. You can also have a look at all the courses coming into Anglia Ruskin University. The beauty of this is you can also compare one course with the other. You can also compare one university with the other. So give a go and explore our website more. You can definitely get a very good information for the universities on our website next year. Okay, so there is a question from Harish. Grammar schools in catchment area with postcode SC26. I will show you how you can explore this. So if you go to our main landing page, which is SchoolUniGuide.com, and click on the maps, you will land to Akanksha, go back one step. Yeah, let's go little slowly. Yeah, so here this is our landing page and you see on the map, yeah, and if you click there, you just need to enter your postcode. We gave this into the demo and you can check what are the schools are in your catchment or near to your postcode. Abhi is asking, can you please give some info on grammar schools in Gloucester? You mean to say Gloucestershire, please? Yeah, we can definitely send you. May not be in this short talk, but please connect us through our email or you can directly connect me on the WhatsApp. We will definitely give you that.
Yashmith asked if my son is unable to get admission into grammar school into year 7 right now. He is in year 5, taking and preparing to have 11 plus exam in September 2025, when we will have second chance or other option to get admission in the grammar school.
All right. So basically, most of the grammar schools, they maintain the waiting list. So if he doesn't get qualified through the first round of the selection, he might be kept on the waiting list. And as and when the places become available, the school calls you. So in my experience of more than around 12 years, few of our students, they did not get into first attempt or the first round or the first selection process into the grammar school. Those student, after a year, the school called them back and the child has got the admission. So it all depends upon the how the school is maintaining the waiting list, basically. Okay.
So we had a question from Abhi. Can you please give some info on grammar schools in Gloucester? So what you can do is you can head over to our school finder tool. You can click on schools over here and it would basically take you to a page where we have all the various schools in the UK. And you can go over to the local authority of your choice. So for example, if this is the local authority looking at, you can filter it out. And as you're looking for grammar schools, you can click on grammar schools and it would give you the list of grammar schools in that area. And you can then start exploring them.
That's great, Akanksha. So let's have a look. Are there any more
Someone
questions?
asked, is there a key date to move into 3 miles catchment area of HBS, so Henrietta Barnett School? There's no particular key date for Henrietta Barnett School. However, you do need to submit a form in. I think it's the CAF. That's the name of the form. You can check the long form of October of the application year. So whichever year you're looking to move your child or send them in order to get HBS, it should be October of that year. So no specific date, but definitely October of that year.
And I will add a few more points on what Ishita had said. Now, we have already, while we are already presenting our slides to you, we always recommended our parents that if they want to move into the catchment area, you must plan your move at least 1 year in advance. So don't keep the things at the last minute because at least whatever I have read so far, there is no key date as such. But it's better that you plan your entire journey of moving your house or finding the house within the catchment area. Do not underestimate this move because it's a highly competitive, especially Henrietta Barnett School is highly competitive. And I have seen parents who lives in Buckinghamshire, and they are aiming for Henrietta Barnett School. So those parents, they move their house in year 4. So they are very, very well planned. So there are many parents who are moving from different counties or different shires near to Henrietta Barnett school. So the school gets highly competitive. I mean, we can show you how much competition is there for the Henrietta Barnett school. So Akanksha, if you just open the Henrietta Barnett school, and that will answer your question that how well in advance you need to plan your move. And this is a country's UK's most competitive and the most top-notch school. Yeah, so we will show you the competition that will tell you how well you need to plan everything. So it's a highly oversubscribed school. Okay, so that is it. Jessica, do your mock exams have online result analysis, including ranking? Yes, definitely. We do provide the online result. It's an instant marking, basically. We will be sending you the link for our mock exams. Yeah, I think we have covered pretty much all of the questions. Just double check, Ishita, in case if we have missed any question. I don't think so.
Yeah, I was keeping track. I think we've covered all the questions, but if
Please,
not, you can
yeah.
email us.
Hmm. So please apply the coupon code SUG50 to buy any products from our SchoolUniGuide website. And you can use Easter 30 to get 30% off on all our Pi Academy subscriptions. So two different coupon codes. If you are purchasing any product from the SchoolUniGuide, please use SUG50. And if you are purchasing anything from Pi Academy website, use coupon code Easter 30. So Urvashi, can you send both of these coupon codes? We are emailing you anyway in the email. Okay, so that is it pretty much. You can take a screenshot of this slide. We are also putting all the coupon codes in the Zoom chat. And yeah, thank you for joining today's webinar. Hope you got some nice insights about the catchment area. Just to conclude, plan your move well ahead of time and make sure that you are getting the place into your desired school. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ishita. Thank you, Akanksha. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.